are. Boy. So I'm just trying to get going here. Still getting all set up. Yes, it's working because I was just told that I was live. So, yep. There I am. Turn that sound off. Oh. Hey there, Starling. Just doing a mental health chat this morning before I go to the NAMI mental health conference virtually, of course. But I may be on later, Starling, on Farm Sim 17 if you want to look around. I'll try to be on there. So, but anyway, nope. There was a change of plan. My wife was there, and she rented a place for a month and a half, or a month at least, while we were waiting for her travel reimbursement or travel stipend. And that'll come not on this check, but next check, the last one in July, and then my son and I will pack up our truck and move the house. Most of the house is still packed up. This little corner of the house isn't. But my wife's in Florida, but I am not yet. How's the sound quality, Starling? I've been having issues each time I start up with people not being able to hear me at first. Sound is good. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've been trying to play a little bit of Farm Sim here and there with randoms, and yeah, hasn't gone very well. Hasn't gone very well at all. But anyway, so for everybody else here, the ones on Facebook up here, and Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube down here, because I think I disabled DLive. I was just getting a bunch of really strange stuff going through DLive. Just about didn't stream at all today. I know I've got the NAMI conference starting at about noon. Testing out new mods and a bunch of maps. Well, that's cool. I tried to help a few people out just randomly, and yeah, it didn't work out very well either. There's a lot of jerks out there. Anyway, it's part of the whole depression and anxiety struggle is just not wanting to do much. Had a bad weekend of not sleeping very well, and so yeah, didn't sleep very well, wasn't feeling very motivated. Just feeling the blahs, and then I thought, well, I guess this is the best time to probably stream, so you can see that though I have found ways of coping and dealing with PTSD, anxiety, depression, all of that wonderful stuff, that sometimes it's still not easy, and here it is, warts and all, right? So, yeah, did a lot of Call of Duty the last couple of days with some other people that struggle too, and sometimes it was really great, really smooth. Sometimes it just gets really frustrating because you try to stay on objective and complete the game, but then people start randomly trying to take you out or taking you out, and you kind of get stuck in a cycle of trying to get a little bit of revenge. Well, I hope you feel better and make it safely to Florida. I appreciate you, Starling. That's very nice of you. So we'll be there in the middle of, well, I'll be there in the middle of August. My son's going to go with my daughter back to Utah. All right, you have a good day, Starling. Thanks for stopping by. My son's going back to Utah with my daughter after we get all packed up into the truck. That is, everything should be packed and ready to rock and roll by the time she's here. Should be. Thanks, Starling. Yeah, the comments that came through was this. Appreciate you. I've had a lot of difficulties with Facebook not running so smooth, and I'm thinking of, instead of doing the Facebook separately on my phone, I don't know, I might scrap the Facebook. If you guys are watching this after the fact, after it's recorded, and you want to continue, you should probably click the like button, follow, whatever. That way, give me some comments. That way I know that somebody's actually watching it on Facebook, and so we can, keep it going on Facebook. But it hasn't been the smoothest of recording, and it get complaints from time to time that it's really choppy, really jagged. And I have Twitch and YouTube and for the time Mixer on the computer, but it won't allow me to do my public persona on this same program without having a subscription, and it's not worth $50 a month to have pretty layers and stream to my groups and whatnot. Can't afford that. But like I said, I almost didn't stream at all, so hopefully you don't mind if I eat and take my meds and everything while we sit here and chat. So I don't have the benefit of knowing or seeing each individual platform, I only see the comments that pop up. Facebook, I see individual stuff, but I don't get to see it on individual platforms, so I don't know who's there. I don't know if anybody's watching. Let's see. Back up here. See, now if I relied on my phone to tell me stuff about Twitch, I would have missed half of Starling's comments because they didn't come through. But yeah, so anyway, try to, if you give me a comment, my Twitch objectives, I need 5 people chatting at the same time, plus I still need 4 more followers. And even when I have my computer set up, I can continue to do the restream. Or if we can just get everybody migrated to one platform and get all the support concentrated in one area, it'd be so much easier. And all the data would be easier too. But got questions, comments, let me know. You throw it up on the screen. If you wanted to be a little bit more incognito, you can send them to my Outlook and I'll pull it up and we can take a look at it. It won't be shown on the screen, but hi Sarah. So far all is well. I was just saying that it was a really hard weekend for sleep, and that I figured I'd still stream anyway, just show what life is like, warts and all, right? That this too shall pass and you can overcome, and even if I've got my stuff all together and that, I still have bad days. So the doggo might come around too a little bit more because she's sensing that I'm stressed, and so she will be distributing the love throughout the household. How's stuff going on in your household, Sarah? Made a different coffee mug. Part of the collection. These ones are from Disneyland Paris. Oh, anyway. So may as well pop over and we can talk about some of the news stuff that I pulled up. And it was another glorious weekend of strange information. I don't like to talk politics at all, but since I'm moving to Florida, my wife's already there, working, going to be finding us a new household, to lease for the time being, and just the way that stuff's being run there is just ridiculous. So, an article from CNN, written by Stephen Collinson, posted last night. Instead of focusing on the out-of-control coronavirus disaster in Florida and other early opening states, such as Texas, the White House is trying to destroy the reputation of one of America's most respected public servants, Dr. Anthony Fauci, for telling the truth about how bad things are getting. Meanwhile, President Donald Oompa Loompa highlights the claims that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention doctors, media, and Democrats are lying about the country's pandemic, the world's worst, in order to crush the economy on which he's relying for his re-election. Who gives a rat's ass about your re-election, Mr. President? Not this registered voter. People, the whole pandemic situation is inconvenient for his personal objectives of becoming reelected. Boo-hoo, poor you. You former billionaire, now probably bankrupt jackass. The new campaign of deception accelerating a day after Florida's record highest ever single daily caseload of new infections for the U.S. state, and likely the daily total confirmed cases nationwide hits a staggering 60,000. Kind of inconvenient for the president's re-election if those 60,000 people, if they liked him before, if they're dead, I guess they can't vote. The surge is racing across southern and western heartlands, including Texas, Georgia, and Arizona, which tried to get back to normal before the curve of infections was suppressed. The resulting torrent of new cases is exposing Trump's call for early openings, embraced by many Republican governors, including the stupid idiot DeSantis in Florida. Is in defiance of CDC's guidelines as one of the worst political and economic decisions in modern history. Well, that's true. Hey, Made Canadian, how's it going? I'm just off on a rant about how stupid the Florida governor is and the President of the United States, Donald Oompa Loompa. So now the White House is not learning from its past mistakes as it sets up an aggressive push to get schools fully operational within weeks after the Education Secretary Betsy DeVos failed repeatedly to outline a plan to do so safely in a CNN interview on Sunday. Got here just in time for the juicy stuff. Yes, Made Canadian. I don't talk politics. I figure if I read it off of an article and try to tamp down, because this is tamped down compared to what I really want to say. The campaign against Dr. Fauci, who has been one of America's most highly regarded public health officials for decades, was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by George W. Bush, tells an extraordinary tale of administration priorities amid a national crisis and the brutal approach it uses to discredit any official who challenges Trump's false narratives, unsubstantiated claims, and bullshit that he likes to try to believe himself. Because if he put it on Twitter, then he believes it, right? On Sunday, a White House official told CNN that several top aides to Trump were concerned about the number of times Dr. Fauci has been wrong about things. Okay, some Made Canadian just said off of Twitch. But seriously, my wife is a teacher, and she said that even if she wasn't on maternity leave next year, she would not go back the next school semester to teach because the schools don't even have good enough plans. That's right. I mean, my son is supposed to be going to Dixie State University in Utah, and they keep trying to push forward another wonderfully Republican-run state, and they have no change in plans. They're like, we might do mixed teaching, part online, part in person. I'm just like, so only certain students will be attending certain days so that you can evenly spread the infection throughout the entire population, instead of having the entire group there one day so everybody gets sick and everybody that is going to get hospitalized gets hospitalized. You just spread it out throughout the entire semester. That way, you know, I don't know. They said they won't even buy sanitizers for classrooms, so if the teachers want them, you have to buy them. Well, that's what's happened with teachers and anything. Well, if you want any decent material to give your children, you'll have to buy it yourself. I mean, that's been teachers everywhere. So my wife's aunt is a retired teacher from California, and she sends stuff out all the time. There was this cold, sterile, gray and black and white classroom. Says, here's what the state provides the teachers for education, and then this whole room is decked out. Here's what the teacher has to provide, and it actually makes it look like something actually presentable. So yeah. Hey Kelsey, good to see you. I was just ranting about a CNN article, and I'm probably only about a third of the way through it, so that tells you how good this is going to go. Dr. Fossey's been, how many times he's been wrong on things. Sources told CNN's Caitlin Collins on Monday that the president, who hasn't met Fauci for weeks, was annoyed with the top infectious disease specialist's public statements and good press. Fauci has contradicted Trump's false claims that the United States is leading the world in the coronavirus fight. He's also refuted the president's statement that 99% of COVID-19 cases are totally harmless. Yeah, they're not. I mean, my wife has been in 2 hospitals in the last 2 or 3 months, and there are people that come in with heavy symptoms and seem to be fairly stable but very sick, and then within hours they're on a ventilator, and if they don't start to get better within a day, they're pretty much end up dying. So here we are for our puppy status check. She's sensing how angry I am and how frustrated. So I guess we'll do a quick puppy break. Here you. We're gone. Everything's fine. We'll just put you on the camera there. Oops, sorry. Come here. You're fine. Come on, give yourself. Give us some loving. Mwah! How's that? You good? Have a kiss? No. It's only take. Only take one. Yeah. Alright. Jesus. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. I hope this one wasn't the microphone that was on, because now, if you were wearing headphones, you're now deaf. I'm not even sure what the default microphone is set to right now. She is quite cute. So, anyway, uh, thanks, thanks, Made Canadian and Bot Mom. Um, so, says that the CDC, media, Democrats, and our doctors, everyone is lying about the pandemic, naming those agencies. The retweet was emblematic of how Trump has sought to cast blame everywhere for his negligence during the pandemic rather than following the science to address the root cause of the worsening situation. So every state that opened early, that didn't follow the guidelines, is now having surges, and it's the fault of the governors that followed Trump's request to open states early. So, and I hope that they can live with that, and if there's a God, that they get to pay the price for it later. Trump's fixation on his electoral prospects and the desire to ignite economic comeback were behind his assurances that it was safe to ease stay-at-home orders without waiting for infection curves to properly flatten. The push was eagerly embraced by some grand old party governors, including Florida's Ron I'm an Idiot DeSantis, who is now facing heavy criticism since his state is seeing runaway infection rates. Runaway infection rates. Yesterday's high was over 15,000 in a single day. You know, normally good high numbers like that, Republicans like good high numbers because high numbers are good and low numbers are bad, except in this situation, you moron. New numbers emerging of full intensive care units and shortage of protective equipment for frontline medical workers and problems with underpowered national testing system, exactly the deficiencies that complicated the early fight of COVID-19. Trump's earlier impatience may come back to bite him in less than 4 months from Election Day. Some governors and city mayors are slowing or reversing reopenings, and economic and social damage from the pandemic could therefore last farther than originally hoped. And no, it will last farther than originally hoped. So a basic economic lesson is if people are dead, they can't spend money. If the families are bankrupted and the insurance money, if they had any, after they die is taken up by hospital bills, yeah, that does put money into the economy, but it's very self-limiting. And unless some of the invisible people that the president is complaining about grabbing a hold of dead people's names and voting for them, they won't be voting after they're dead. The only people that will vote for you are already dead in the head, but they're still breathing. Yeah. Administration demands school openings without any plans. Every parent in America is fretting that kids could be going to school for many more months in a scenario that would have grave educational and social economic consequences. DeVos. Okay, let's see. Let me catch up on some of the chat. Rebel, Governor Herbert, well, will you make masks mandatory? Well, seatbelts are mandatory, but people don't always wear them, was the comment. The bot mom says the governor down here is an idiot. He literally does not care that people are dying and the hospitals are filling up. Yeah, he doesn't. And like I was saying before, they don't understand that even though ventilators are, ventilators haven't been in the news in the last little while because, there hasn't been a huge surge until now. Not every hospital has a ventilator per ICU room. It's never been required. I've worked in hospitals that had, I think there was 15 ICU rooms and they had 10 vents, and 3 of them were so old that I remember seeing them when I was on student internship observations in high school. Yeah, that's how old some of those vents were. I mean, they're the size of a copy machine. And 3/4 of the people there didn't know how to use them because they were that old. And Rebel from Twitch says, by the way, they're mandatory now. The SLC authorities below him made them mandatory. Good. I mean, I don't understand why Herbert in Utah, where my family lives and where my son might be going to school, he's not running for re-election, so why doesn't he just use his little Republican brain and actually shut off his Republican brain and turn on his regular human common sense brain and pretend that he actually lives in Utah, which he does, and do what's right. Once again, if voters are dead, they can't vote, right? Maybe that's what they're trying to do is, they're going to lose this election, so they're trying to kill as many people off that would possibly not vote for them as possible. So yeah, that's the quote that Rebel said the Governor Herbert said verbatim that was reported. And Chelsea says, I don't know, man, the quote was verbatim and he's already brain dead. Yep, that's true. I don't know. I mean, Florida, how can you have more cases? So Utah was showing some concern when their cases were getting over 400. Says if we ever get close to 400, we need to consider shutting the state down. Well, they got to 400 plus the other day, and they still haven't shut stuff down. Let's see, here's Bot Mom says, the good news is that Walmart is thriving. I've never seen so many people there in my life before the pandemic. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing. People, it's like the hardware and gardening stores here. Yeah. I don't understand people throwing fits about having to wear a mask in a business. Yeah. Let's see. Yep. Thank baby Jeebus for the delivery. Yep. When a business refuses to let somebody enter because they're not wearing a mask because of their personal privacy, Atlanta Man says, well, Ron Death DeSantis equals Florida Man ever. Yeah. Or, whoops, sorry, we got equals Florida Man. Yeah. I'm sure that if you Google Governor DeSantis' name, it's almost as bad as if you just Googled Florida man, just like you're saying. The dumbest Florida man ever. Yep. So, let's see here. Made Canadian says, I had to tell a guy off the other day because he was online behind me and breathing down my neck. Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, right there. Yuck. 6 feet. 6 feet is an arbitrary number, and I believe that the original guidelines come out said 10 feet apart. And it got edited down because I think the PR people got a hold of it and says, oh, if we have 10 foot sounds too big of a number, so it'll be unpopular with people, we better shorten it down. If somebody without a mask coughs in the area and they're infected, those nebulized particles can hang in the air if there's no airflow, can hang in the air for up to 2 hours or longer, depending on the humidity, the temperature, all that. They just hang out. And that's why they were promoting airflow and people wearing masks to lessen the amount of contagion being thrown out there. Even people that just are carrying it and cough to clear their throat, or they sneeze. Inline, yeah. So, Made Canadian, when you said inline, I thought you were just doing like the British when they queue up online. You know what I mean? We stood online for hours. I got you. At least 6 feet. So there was a thing from, I can't remember who posted it. It was this ball gown dress. This is my Amazon order. My social distancing dress finally arrived, and it was like a 6 foot hoop skirt that went completely around this woman. So, Atlanta man, what kills me is seeing nurses I work with not wearing masks. Yeah. Yeah. I see that here in our little town. We only have 2,500 people in our side of the county and 2,500 on the other side of the county divided by a mountain range. There's two basically towns in our county. And you go to the clinic and they're wearing masks, they're wearing gloves, they're doing everything that they're supposed to. And then you go to the grocery store here and none of them are wearing face coverings. The ones that I've seen, none of them are wearing face covering. And they are chatting almost face to face with people. And I'm like, if anybody in this community has the likelihood of being positive, it's these people, right? Like, they're where the sick people go for care, and while they're there buying their breakfast cereal and their veggies, they're sitting there chatting over the food, not wearing masks. And I mean, one of them coughed and cleared her throat right into her hand and then put her hand back down on the cart. I'm like, good God. But I mean, 2002, we were coughing, vampire coughing into our elbows. What the hell? Let's see, and catch up and chat again here. So, yeah, if I had my choice, I'd say 10 feet plus. Yeah, and speaking of Walmart, going to the Walmart in Rifle, Colorado, there'll be people shopping with all of their kids still. No masks. And some of them coughing, hacking, sneezing, too, no masks. Or half of them are wearing masks, the other half aren't, and mom just appears to be trying to exist because they're driving her insane like kids do, right? Um, let's say here, you know, I love it when people give me the side eye because they're going the wrong way down the aisle. Yeah, so I'm a bigger person. I mean, you can tell. The camera adds 10 pounds. Well, that's probably more accurate to say that I actually am this big. I'm not appearing fatter on camera. 280 pounds, 6'2". I will stand in the middle of the aisle for anybody that's coming towards me. I'll just leave my cart in the middle of the aisle and I step off to the side that they're on and just look at stuff on the shelf just so they have to go around me. I'm an ass that way, but my God. Yeah. Let's see here. And, you know, there's arrows there. There's big signs at the entrance of the aisleways in our Walmart that say, do not enter, you know, and traffic signal, you know, traffic sign that you're supposed to be able to recognize. Yeah. So, but Mom, lots of stores where I live have taken the directional arrows off the aisles now because of the Bible thumpers. Well, you know, they're covered in the blood of Jesus. They will be fine, right? That's what I love that. Every time anything, I've seen that meme so many times now. Interviewers trying to be serious, like, are you concerned with a number of people that are in the church, and blah, 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 nobody's wearing face? I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. It's like, okay, well, I hope you're right. And if there is a God, I hope that he decides to take those people out first and say, okay, I realize that faith is a thing, but also if you believe that Jesus created the earth and everything in it, he also created the scientists and gave them the knowledge to guide you, right? Gave them the knowledge to tell you what was safe and what's not. So, trust in the Lord and follow their direction, you Bible-thumping moron. Let's see. Might as well, yeah, no one gives a crap anyway, apparently. So Florida, they're telling people to stay an alligator length away from each other. Here in our town, there are signs all over that give an example of how far to stay away from somebody as 1 horse length. And there's a cowgirl, there's a horse, and there's a cowboy. one horse length away from each other. And we're a rural community, so that paints a perfect picture. I don't know if anybody was offended by it or not, or whether they're like, okay, and that's good. An alligator length. Yeah, at least. Let's see. And yeah, yep. Rebel did say that in our town. They're using horses. Well, you got to use what people will identify with, right? How they'll identify it. Sweet baby Jeebus, with an audible sigh from Rebel. All right. Let's see. I'm going to start calling it my Jesus mask, because if you don't wear one, he'll be the next person you'll probably meet. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that, but I understand. I definitely understand that. You can call it your ain't going to Jeebus mask. You know, that's the thing. Is oh, so in the Muslim faith, they don't allow certain medical procedures and things to be done. They don't turn off life support um, at the recommendation of medical people, at least outside of the United States. When we were in the Emirates, that was the thing, is if they live on life support, then it must have been God's will, right? Because if they weren't meant to be alive, then it wouldn't work. Well, here, it's the exact opposite. It's whatever happens to be convenient is not God's will. Okay, me wearing a mask, somebody telling me to wear a mask, that's inconvenient. I don't like that. But maybe that information might have come from somebody from inspiration from their religious faith. And, they actually were given knowledge of how to stop this virus. But if it goes against what's comfortable, then, you know, man, they should sell masks with Confederate flags on them. Then they might wear them. Maybe we have to sow a seed of contention with the people that didn't drink from the fountain of knowledge. They merely rinsed and spit. There's probably people walking around with them too. I don't care, trick them into wearing them. You know what I mean? Seen the MAGA hats, yeah. Oh boy. Well, any way to make a buck, right? All right, Sarah. I'm still skeptical because of how much the medical field is influenced by government. Big dollar motivators. Doctors get a bonus for every kid vaccinated. I don't buy that, Sarah. I think that's bullshit. I mean, the people that put out the anti-vax stuff, oh, well, it causes autism, it causes this, that causes that. Even the guy that wrote the report that said that it caused autism, he basically said he lied. He didn't think it would ever become such a huge thing. He was influenced by the people that were paying him to do the study, and that he did it motivated on money. So the doctors in our hospital don't get paid a commission on how many shots they give in a day. Made Canadians, there's a decent chance that I'd be fine if I got COVID, a chance that I would prefer not to take. But let me tell you, if I was the reason someone close to me died because I gave them COVID, I couldn't live with that, especially since a large portion of my older family are all high risk because of other health issues. True. I mean, well, if your doctor friends are making big money based on the amount of shots that they're given, that's a health system that I haven't participated in. I don't know. I don't buy it. I think that it is more rhetoric that they're trying to make you believe because of their personal beliefs. I don't know. Bot mom, made Canadian, same here. I'd never be able to forgive myself. Haven't even seen them in over 3 months because of this, so still working every day. Phone's about to die, gotta go. Appreciate you, Lannerman. Bot Mom Gaming again. I don't know. It's tough, but we have to make it work with video calls and good stuff. Yeah. And Rebel says bye, Atlanta. Alright. I mean, I I understand what you're saying for the most part, Sarah, but as a member of the medical community, I've never heard of that. Maybe I've exuded, I don't know, integrity and intelligence and wouldn't buy into that, and so maybe that's why I wasn't privy to that. But the doctors that I know and respect would never buy into that, and they still believe in vaccinations. So I don't want to hurt your feelings, or um, if you believe that, I understand. I'm not mocking your belief, but I don't buy that. There's a tons of conspiracy theories going around. Fact check. When you read something, I'm skeptical all the time. Yeah, I mean, my wife is Kate is the fact checking queen. I mean, if you put something out on Facebook, or actually, if you just read something on Facebook and forward it without even looking it up, she will call you on your shit because she's tired of all the stupid conspiracy shit going around. People forward automatically, oh, this child's missing, and blah blah blah, and please, and you look at the date on it, you go to any one of, you just Google the kid's name, and you turn around and you find that same day that he was found safe or whatever, and so she just highlights it, reposts it, sends it back out. Kid's fine. Or, oh, pray for this person because he's doing this, da 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 da. Sorry, he died 3 days after they posted that, and that was 2 years ago. I mean, just do a quick fact check so that, and it's gotten bad enough that I don't even go to that extent anymore. I mean, we could have 24-hour stream going through conspiracies. Well, yeah, and if I had the viewership, I'd go for it, But oh my gosh, a stupid algorithm over on Twitch. If I have 5 people chatting at the same time, I guess even just once, then I meet the algorithm. But I still need 4 more followers on Twitch. And I must have had one more because Atlanta Man, I don't think was a follower before, so now I might need only 3. All right, let's see here. So there's a nurse from my pediatrician's office that said Medicaid patients get a different set of vaccines, but let me read the rest of it. But I always assumed it had to do with manufacturers and cost. I don't know. It always made me wonder, though. Well, that comes down to the parent. They have to research that. You say, all right, well, how come I'm being given this without a choice? Why don't they make those choices available to the people with insurance? Because if you're on an 80-20 insurance plan where you're paying 20% of the cost yourself, you should be able to pick the generic, you know what I mean? As long as they are chemically the same, which is if it's supposed to be one medication's generic from another, they're identical. So, let's see, in Canada they're trying to switch everything to the cheaper alternative medications to save money. Yeah, I mean, as long as it is the same medication, it doesn't matter. Like, I take generic Prilosec. Yeah, I can buy Prilosec off the counter, like 45 pills, I think it is, or 45 pills for 20 bucks. But my prescription says 40 milligrams twice a day to help prevent me from basically having the possibility of developing stomach cancer. Well, 40 milligrams is an industrial dose. Over the counters are only 20 milligrams, so a 45-day supply a 45 pill supply doesn't do me, but not even 2 weeks. So, but I can get a prescription of the generic filled when, we're in between insurances right now. But I can get a 45 or a 30-day, no, there were actually 90-day subscription for $30. So for $10 more, I have several hundred doses of the generic in 3 bottles. So let's see. Pharmacy companies suck. Can suck on a fart, honestly. Yeah, and the United States, the FDA, is so much bureaucracy and paperwork to go through everything. The reason why they're able to have I think it's 7-year exclusivity after testing a drug, is to try to recoup the money from the testing, is what they say. Well, that's if your insurance will pay for that drug on formulary, versus the fact that there's another similar medication that will do something similar. So now what I've seen as far as a trend is they'll, instead of coming up with new and better medications, they'll either combine 2 medications into a different medication and then put it under that 7-year non-compete or exclusive non-generic, or they'll do one more additive that changes the drug infinitesimally. It still does the same thing, and they're able to put it back under that thing and market it as a new drug. It's ethically terrible. So anyway, I'm going to run and grab a quick cup of coffee. Those of you on different platforms, you can chat amongst yourselves if you want, but I'll be right back. Oh boy. All right. Bring your dog with you. So yeah, my daughter was getting a refill too, apparently. And she wanted me to take the dog with you. Yeah. What was it? I was so mad this morning, I used my last bit of creamer, and then I saw that there was a big bug in my coffee and threw it out. Oh my gosh. That's the worst. The only thing worse than that is when you use the last bit of creamer and you didn't sniff the container first, and when you stir it up, you see that it's curdled and that you've just ruined it, and so you just ruined the cup of coffee and you have no more creamer. So, yeah. Oh, nasty. All right. Well, that was all that wonderful chat off of one article about two stupid people. I mean, speaking of medications, since I better remember to take mine, make sure that they're all there. Yep. God, it's great getting old. Gotta take my pills. All right. Da, 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 da. That's why I invested in instant coffee for those sad moments. Yep. Used to have the powdered creamer or whatever. I think it was the French vanilla creamer, just in case. And finally, the one case where we ended up using it, it was like clumped together solid and it wouldn't dissolve very well. And then it looked like curdled cream when I put it in there, so it ruined the coffee anyway. Like I say, I don't know how you read news articles. It just makes me mad. Yeah, maybe that's partly why I wasn't sleeping very well. I read that right before I went to bed. And so my brain just sits there and goes and goes. Stupidity. But yeah, I took Made Canadian. I took the Jack Skellington beanie off of Eric and put my operator hat on him, so he looks a little more cop-like now. Let's see here. There's a hatchet killer in Utah? What? What? What do you mean? Ah, nice. Well, don't wanna waste the bullets or have to sharpen a knife, I guess. Why do you have to be so negative? Maybe they're just using the resources that they have available to them. No, sorry. Really, a hatchet killer. What did the hatchets ever do to them? I mean, why are they killing the hatchets? I almost choked. Yeah, I know I almost make you guys choke on your drinks all the time, but you almost got me. Quarantine really got to Karen, I guess. That's just it. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to take this hatchet and I'm going to chop those sons of bitches up. Try to make me wear a mask. I'm just going to hop in my freaking Aerostar and I'm going to go down there and give them what for at the old Costco. I was playing Call of Duty Warzone with a friend last night. We had this is a very common thing for those of you that don't game. We might have come across some very stoned people last night and intoxicated. This dude just kept going, dude, he sounds like the dog from Family Guy. He couldn't even remember the name Brian. He was that high. And so I just kept going through it, and I didn't do, I mean, I don't think I sound like Brian the dog, but I did every other Family Guy voice that I do. just to trip him out that much more. Yeah, Bot Mom, she's from Facebook Gaming. Uh, she, yeah, she she understands. I mean, there are entire groups. Have you ever played in a single, like, what do they call them? It's not just the regular battle royale, but the oh, anyway, they're team death matches where there are like 100 people on them. They're 50 on 50 instead of just the small 12, 6 on 6. I challenge you to go through a list and not find at least 10% of the list has some kind of 420 reference, some kind of marijuana logo. They've picked up one of the marijuana logos, or their name insinuates anything to do with pot consumption. You can't. Even the people that I play with from the gaming group that I'm part of, well, I'm part of several, but one of the gaming groups that I play with most often, they're all 420 reference, or they have a marijuana leaf on their dog tag. So, I mean, I did every other voice from Family Guy that I could except for Brian. I did Herbert the Pervert and Cleveland, and I did a Family Guy, and he was tripping out. It was awesome. Something comes up here and it just comes right out there. So, but yeah, he was like, dude, come join my cult. That will be righteous. And then the Karen's out there. I'm just gonna take this hatchet over there. I'm gonna go right down to Twitch, wherever the fuck Twitch is, and I'm gonna take them out. Dude, Mr. Turtle's my dad. Name's Crush. Drugs are bad, okay? Don't do drugs, okay? Sorry, Mr. Haney, okay? Okay. Are you ready, Mr. Hat? Oh, I know he's a shit, Mr. Hat. Kenny, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly, Kenny. What the fuck, Mr. Garrison? Oh, good times. Dude. The Rebel, is he like this all the time? Yes. Oops. I said yes, but by the time I put it, he's like, this is hilarious. Dude. That dude sounds like Brian. No, he didn't even go that far. Sounds like the dog from Family Guy. Like your brain couldn't process the name Brian, but it did go all the way around and say the dog from the Family Guy. How the fuck did that work? And I would conceive of playing like entire games. I told this to the guy I was playing with last night. I was gonna just do some weird voice and do it the entire game, and maybe do it like drill sergeant style. I mean, are you guys with me? The entire game, and I was trying to elevate his mood because he was in a bad mood. Had several bad games last night before he got with me, and yeah, it was horrific. But I mean, it had the only thing comparable to me doing the voices that make people laugh are some of my open mic moments when I was working on an ambulance. Inevitably, I would say something completely stupid, and it was before we had the 800 megahertz radios that you click on the mic and it chirps twice before it starts to transmit, so you at least have a little bit of headway. But I still ended up having open mic moments even then. I mean, yeah. Sounds great. Yeah, if I do it on a stream after I have a better system, if I if I do it on a stream, I gotta not have the camera on because I get self-conscious about what my face looks like trying to do the voice. Anyway, all right. So I have another news article to tell you. Oh boy, I'm trying to prepare myself. Okay, what is it? See, this way I can edit it before it goes out onto the stream this way, but everybody on Twitch is already exposed to it, so that's okay though. If you're watching on Facebook and you have a Twitch account, go over to Season Medic Gaming and you can see these things unedited amongst yourselves. If I can get enough people to move from Facebook over to Twitch to just watch the streams and make it easier. Even if I just used Restream to keep it, it's the Facebook that doesn't want to fit into this Restream without me having to buy a subscription for like $50 a month. And yeah, I shared you my gaming page earlier. Hope. Oh yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, okay. Reb, I saw that. So I saw a version of it online. So protesters organized flash mobs at a grocery store in Utah to oppose face masks. And it kind of backfired on them too a little bit because the article that I saw, it said the Karens unite. So it was written from the perspective that all the difficult word first thing in the morning, indulgent Karens decided to, yeah, oof. The Karens decided to unite and have a flash mob at a grocery store in Utah. Did it say what the repercussions were, whether they all got booted out or whether they decided to have a sit-in and commingle all of their viral load with each other? The only thing stupider than that, if stupider, is stupider a word? More stupid? More stupider? I wanna meet someone named Karen that isn't an actual Karen. Yeah, exactly. Whenever Bert Kreischer, a comedian, he also had Bert the Conqueror on Discovery Channel, where he'd go around and do different challenges or different things. He has some comedy specials, and one of them, it's not, I can't remember. I think it's the one where he covers his Russian mob story. And By the way, he's from Florida, just by a happenstance. Um, just saying, it might explain a few things. Um, sorry, Pop Mom. Sorry, Kelsey. Um, Bert tells a story about his kid swearing. Uh, okay, Rebel looked through and says doesn't say anything about it, but he'd keep an eye out. Doubt they did anything, because they're all Caucasians. Um, let's see. Um, don't know a safe way to say what the name was that his kid was saying. It was the "see you next Tuesday" word, and he's like, "Well, you can't say that word in public. You can't say that." And they're like, "Well, why not? It's a fun word to say." And he's like, "Well, I don't doubt that it means." He says, "I know it's fun to say." It's like, "But you don't know what it means." He's like, "Well, what does it mean?" And he looks over at the guy that's with him at the pool and says, "Well, why don't we go talk to," and I'll just say her name was Karen. I don't know what her name was. "Well, let's just go talk to Karen, his wife. She's one, so she'll tell you all about it." And the guy said to him, "You better clear that with Karen before you use that joke." He's like, "Sure." Says, "Well," told her the story, and she's like, "Well, why would I have a problem with that? I know that I'm not one, so what does it matter?" And her husband, standing next to her, so he's facing the same direction she's facing, he rolls his eyes before he can do anything about it, like, he's like, I felt like the kid from The Sixth Sense. It's like, she doesn't know. She is one and doesn't know. That's what I think of whenever I think of the Karen stories. Is I think of that one. Um, Murdered dead man on Mixer. Appreciate it. If you have a Twitch account, jump over there. It's under the same name except gaming at the end. Seasoned Medic Gaming. Appreciate the follow on Mixer, but it's only going to be around for another week or so. So if you miss out on this quality content, if you don't have a Twitch account, and don't tell me you can go to YouTube or Facebook, just go to Twitch. Rest in peace, Mixer. Hey, yeah, this is one of the few times that I haven't done it. But anyway, yeah, quality content. What are you saying, Rebel? That's quality content. It's even lowercase letters. It's not even phrased as a proper sentence. What's that all about? I like this. Yeah, no kiss ass, all right? Nobody likes to suck up. Anyway, good times. So I've got that NAMI online conference at noon today, or at least I think it's noon. I better check that freaking email so I don't screw it up. Okay. Oh, yeah. Rebel sent me the article from KSL. An intoxicated Smithfield man tried to kill his father with a hatchet, police say. Okay, so hatchet killer versus crime of opportunity. I think this was a crime of opportunity. To me, a hatchet killer is someone that's running around that hasn't been caught yet. Okay, that was what I was envisioning when you said, "Oh, there's a hatchet murderer running around." Smithfield man has been arrested, accused of trying to kill his father. Ethan Drake Mortensen, 20, was booked into the Cache County Jail on Thursday. Smithfield, by the way, that's where my mom was, she lived. She wasn't born there, but She lived there. Yeah, I thought, kill, 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 no, 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 kill, 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 no, no, no. Just saying. Um, believe it or not, he was booked in the Cache County Jail Thursday for investigation of attempted murder and intoxication. You had me at attempted murder. Yeah. Good times. Yeah, that's okay. Let's see. Oh, congratulations. You've received 100 messages today with Restream chat. Yay! I guess I could tweet that out if it would let me. But funny thing is, I go over to try to click on tweet, and it covers it up and says, do you want to show it? And I'm already showing you. Mr. Donuts, huzzah! Not sure. Muzzle dash! Yeah, exactly. Sorry. I like huzzah better. Now, I wasn't disappointed that there wasn't, a hatchet killer running around Utah. I mean, that's just the way that you build it, or I built it up in my head. So, but anyway, oh yeah. Before I got distracted, yet again, look, a squirrel. I was going to check my email. That was another. Hi, my name's Doug, and I love you. And I just wanted to say, squirrel. Hello. Dear Seasoned Medic. It doesn't say Seasoned Medic. It has my real name in there. Thank you for registering for the NamiCon 2020. It's Monday, July 13th, the first day of the NamiCon. And we're excited that you're joining us today and tomorrow, Tuesday, July 14th. Use the following link. Okay. What time? What time? Got to go to the earlier one, I guess. The one where it says pick your things, which I haven't done yet. Free tool, Nami convention. So, oh crap, that one. Virtual together. That's weird. View the schedule. Good Lord, they make this very difficult. All right, let's see. Sorry, this is the boring part of reading's difficult. So it starts. Oh shit! I've missed. It told me Pacific time the last time. Now it's Eastern time, so I've already missed. I missed one thing. Hero, help addiction, and behavioral assistance. So it looks like I've probably got 40 minutes until the next one starts. That's a bummer. I mean, it said Pacific Daylight Time last time, but fine, Eastern time. I missed all the pre-conference bullshit, so that's good. So I missed ending the silence statewide. What? Anyway, I didn't miss much. There's NAMI, the National Association on Mental Illness, is having a conference. Excuse me. They're having a conference online instead of doing it in person, and there's just a bunch of workshop classes that you can pick. and uh, there's about 5 options, 6 in some cases, that you can pick to attend a class and just listen and participate if you want to. And so that's what I was going to do today and tomorrow. But yeah, I'm working on a project. I'm about to smash it into pieces if it doesn't want to cooperate with me. Yeah, I understand that. Counterproductive, because if you want to finish it, then you'll have to start over. Just saying. I know that's not helpful, but you could also smash it and say that it was a deconstructed whatever the hell it was. Unless it was a commission piece. It keeps falling apart on itself. So, yeah. This is a deconstructed masterpiece. Or it's a piece of shit that wouldn't stay together. Depending on your point of view. Yeah, I understand. Frustrations. But anyway, so that's coming up in about half an hour. So I'm planning on doing that. So the choices that I have is talking about an increase. What's the increase behind suicide rates? Engaging faith leaders in addressing mental illness. Good luck. They can't even address science-based things that you can actually provide accurate predictions and numbers on, let alone an abstract idea like mental illness. Sorry. Hero Help, Addiction and Behavioral Health Assistance. The Fusion Model, a peer-informed model for crisis support. I might do that one. And NAMI, Ending the Silence for Students. So NAMI has classes where you can become an educator to go out and teach like how to recognize signs of behavioral health emergencies or how to handle people that are in a crisis situation. And so I could become an instructor and instruct those things online, so we could actually do those classes in our online community if it works. Mr. Donuts suggests that Rebel bribe the project with donuts, because that works for him. What kind of project is she working on? Why don't you tell them what kind of project you're working on, because I'm not sure which one you're working on right now. And a clay representation of my family. Check my phone. Which one of us is falling apart? So, decapitated grandpa. You said that he decapitated himself. I don't know if you can see that very clearly with all the reflections of every surface. And there we go. There's the Facebook version. Yeah. So don't forget Doggo. Yeah, Mr. Donuts. She probably did the dog first, to be honest. She probably did the dog and her cat first. Maybe our cat too. And then, that is true. If she did the whole line of progression, yeah, there's a lot of dogs. So we, with a couple of our dogs, we did do the cremation um, with them and have their ashes. Nobody wanted to keep them in the States when we moved to the Emirates. You know how difficult it is to get animal remains through TSA? I mean, the guys in the United States were very, there we go. Let's just do a paw for each one. The guys in the United States were very respectful and everything. They're like, you know what, we have to make sure and this and that. I'm like, you do what you have to do. They were just making sure that they weren't drugs or a powdered substance or whatever, which I thought, oh God, they're going to have to open up the bag and do whatever. Not, they just rub the test strip on the outside of the bag and come across and they're like, yep, those are animal remains. And there's a certificate in each box that says what they are and who the physician was that authorized it. Yeah. So it was interesting. We didn't have any problems coming back from the Emirates. They didn't care. I took them with me on the plane. I didn't ship them with the household. I thought that's the last thing that I want is to go through all of our stuff and find a note from the immigration that they had confiscated this suspect box that contained our animals, so I didn't want to live with that. So I took them on the plane both times. I didn't have any hassle. A lot of times the Emirati airport, they're like, we don't care what you take out, we just care what you bring in. I mean, yeah. Anyway, good times. So the rest of the schedule, yeah, there's a good, 20-minute break, I guess. Talks about the NAMI helplines, another one ending conversion therapy, LGBTQ lives matter, engaging individuals who have mental illness in the Stepping Up initiative. So that's part of their education to the education process for being able to recognize mental illness and how to intervene for family members, how to intervene for strangers, how to intervene for if you're a student, for another student. Going to Mr. Donut lurk again because the phone is dying. Okay, Mr. Donuts, appreciate you. Still waiting for him to put, Farm Sim on multi-platform sharing because I'm not going to PlayStation. It's not happening. But thank you. Creating meaningful connections, youth certified peer specialists, or a novel approach to treatment, resistant depression, esketamine, long-acting ketamine. I don't know. That's interesting. So anyway, that's all of today. I don't know. I'll pick something. It'll work out. It always does. So we only talked about one news article, and I saved like 5 of them on the Discord. Oh, whoops. I've still got it open. Hold on. Whoa. Yeah, if you guys want to go over to the Discord and read some of the stuff I put in the general chat. When I put it in general chat, I'm usually going to bring them up on stream. There was an article. So the town that we were going to live in initially, their newspaper, the Bradenton Herald, had a story of Ocala homeless are being fined or jailed, nowhere to sleep legally in Ocala. Diane Coleman, this is an article written by, gotta give them, Karina Elwood, the Howard Center for Investigative Journalism, from July 11th. And her picture is there. So Diane Coleman drives past rundown motels, mom and pop cafes, and car repair shops on the main drag of this north central Florida city of about 60,000 people, and she pulls out her phone, searches through photos until she finds what she's looking for, a picture of a wrinkled man with a Mona Lisa smile. Pulitzer Prize winning stuff right here. Just saying. Basically, tell a story of a 62-year-old dude that for 16 long years he's lived on the streets of Ocala. In that time, he was arrested for trespassing or open lodging, as it says in quotes, open lodging. Again and again, the cycle finally stopped when in 2017 he met Coleman. The project was produced by the Howard Center for Investigative Journalism at the University of Maryland's Philip Merrill College of Journalism in collaboration with the University of Florida College of Journalism and Communications. So they run a homeless outreach, and instead of just bringing in food, they actually are putting him up in a motel and still bringing him food, checking up on him to make sure that he's receiving his Social Security checks where he wasn't receiving them on a regular basis because he didn't have an address. And not really clear what was happening, if anything, to those benefits. So basically, it sounded like the laws were written in Ocala. Basically, let's not fix the problem. Let's just keep arresting the problem, trying to push it away so it doesn't get arrested. Well, if you arrest someone enough times without a home and you take them to jail, they now have a home, right? Wouldn't it be cheaper to try to find them a home, get them a place to be, so that you don't have to take public time and public expense even further? Just saying, just an idea. Yeah, anyway. The city first instituted an ordinance in 2002 that stated a person cannot lodge or make temporary shelter on private property without permission or while the location is not open or operating. So you could camp on somebody's property if they gave you permission? Don't understand that. City cracked down harder in 2018 when Mayor Kent Ginn announced police would be implementing the broken windows strategy, meaning the elimination of visible signs of crime or waning life. Waning life. Since the lodging ordinance was amended to include public property, police had issued close to 400 charges for violations in ordinance of May of 2018. Well, this didn't go the way that I thought that it was. I only read part of it. It says, I know what my eyes have shown me, he wrote, the now mayor, or the mayor at that time, "It's time for us to make a stand against crime and take our city back." Apparently being homeless is a crime in Ocala. Um, that's the city in which my wife is working. Welcome to Ocala. Now get the fuck out. Um, Welcome to Ocala. Come spend your money here because we have some really great businesses, but then get out. Leave your money and go. I'm just saying. All right, well, I guess I'm getting a little punchy. Um, yeah, the whole welcome to Beaver, Utah. Yeah, there were T-shirts that went around that said "Welcome to Fillmore and Beaver." They're not even towns next to each other in Utah. They're just named weird, and so somebody got a T-shirt and they put those two names together. Anyway, good times. So yeah, if you want to read some of those articles that I did save that I haven't discussed yet, it's in the Discord, and it's under general chat. I'm going to make it its own. I'm going to make another tab when I'm not lazy, and move all of those over to the news tab. If you do join the Discord and you don't automatically get member permissions, just send me a message in the Discord, and I'll fix it. It's not that busy right now, so it might not automatically do everything because I don't have it set up that way automatically. The beard's doing weird stuff. It's being a weird beard. All right. Well, so those were the topics that I have to choose from for NAMI, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how long my attention span lasts. If you do have questions, comments that you didn't want to put into chat, which I have no idea why you wouldn't want to, because we've been having a blast today. It's a hell of a lot better than I felt when I got up this morning. I was saying to a nearly empty chat room, and when I say nearly empty, I think that Sarah was the only one that was there. I almost didn't even stream today because I haven't slept well the last couple of nights. Being 1,600 miles apart from my spouse's, it takes a toll. And yeah, we talk to each other every night, but it's still not the same. Obviously, still not the same. Trying to make do for another month. Because Rebel will be over here on the 10th. Night of the 10th, we'll go pick up the truck on the 11th, load all the boxes and everything, and anything that's left, I'll find a way to get it loaded. By the next morning, when I hand the keys over to the property manager, and beat feet for Central Florida. Yay, she says she gets to help move, and then she moves a week after that. Well, you'll have your brother to help you. All you have to do is just take him to your house and say you can't leave until you help me move. What's he going to do? Walk? Yeah, right. Plus, he doesn't even know where your apartment is in relationship to time and space. So, saying moving is the worst. Yeah, I agree with you about Mom and Rebel. I didn't think about that. It's only kidnapping if he gets a phone, right? That's not. I'm not a legal representative. I don't think that's how that works. Yeah, good times. Dark humor. Yep, yep, yep. And yeah, so yeah, he will be available to help you move, and unless he's not going to school, which we still have to figure out in the next 30 days or so. I don't I don't want him to go to school because they're they have no plans on what they're doing. They have so he's supposed to be in the dorms where he's supposed to have a roommate. Well, they put out a thing that said that there will be less people in the dorms. So does that mean he has a private room? His online classes, if he goes completely online, why should he have to rent a room at the university? He could be anywhere, right? Um, I don't know. I'm gonna have to pin him down a little bit more. My brother used to duct tape me to chairs and put me in the road on my back. So, you know that brotherly love thing, yeah. It's always the best. Well, that I don't know. Still not kidnapping, right? He let you go. I believe Fish and Game would call that catch and release, sort of, not fully released, I guess, but well, like yeah, my brother's still afraid of me as he should be until he calls your bluff because you're really just a wuss. He doesn't watch this, so he's not listening to anything. So, um, but like I said, I wasn't going to stream at all, and now I feel a lot better. We've had my venting session. We've I'm not gonna I'm not gonna click on that comment. I'm not putting it up. You can't make me. But yeah, it's been great. It's been a lot better than I feel a lot better than I did when we first started, and I usually do after roasting me in front of your friends. Yeah, well, if they were saying the same things, then I would be roasting them otherwise. Um, you got to remember what I say to people, right? If I didn't like you, I wouldn't tease you. There was one guy, his name was Mike, and I can't remember his last name, that worked with me at one of the ambulance companies. I was teasing the quartermaster, and they said, "Why are you always giving me so much crap?" And I said, "Well, if I wouldn't tease you if I didn't like you." And Mike happened to say, and he he was one of those personalities that not a lot of people liked, you know. um, the Mike says, "Well, you've never teased me. What does that say about me?" And I'm like, "What does it say about you?" And I walked away. No, he says, "You've never teased me." And I said to him, "Well, what does that say about you?" And I left. Apparently, that left a lasting impression, and so Mr. Mike had a thing that he didn't like me or any of the people that were there at the time. So, yeah, yeah, I don't talk about people behind their back. It's much funner to say it right to their face and watch their eyes. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Yeah, this is what that was from. My Rebel, I don't believe a word of it. You're strong as well. Yeah, well, yeah, he couldn't take it. and he could dish out a bunch of crap, and he thought he was professional as hell, but he wasn't. Um, anyway, good times. So yeah, wouldn't tease you if I didn't like you. And if I didn't like you, I'd tell you to your face, right? um, anyway, it's been good. Anybody else have anything that they want to talk about before we end this? I've got that session supposed to start in about 5 to 8 minutes. I got to figure out how to log on and all that crap still. Wow, I mean, nothing that I've said should surprise you. You know me. Oh, still have to do the allergy spray. That was the one med that I didn't do. So, let's see. Yep, true. He says a lot of people about other players, and Cotton, he says it all to their face. Yeah. I'll tell you right to your face, man. You shut up, Randy. I'll scissor kick him in his gizzard. I don't care. I ain't scared. Where do you think she gets it from? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not my attitude or humor, it's my parents. Sure. You just keep telling yourself that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this now and try to figure out how to sign on to that conference and see how long my attention span participates. If it's good, I'll stick with it. If it's not so good, maybe I'll leave it on in the background and I'll go scissor kick some gizzards in Call of Duty. Yep. Reb's had a fun time today. Yeah. See you, dude. It was fun. Hope the rest of the day is better than morning. Yeah. Yep. And Made Canadian says, have a good day, dude. Have a great day. Maybe we'll chat later. Perfect. I appreciate you guys and everybody else that will watch this later. I hope everybody has a great day, not just because I said so, but because you guys deserve it. All right? You guys have a good day.